On the bench, this project will be reassembling what I believe is a 1979 Harley Davidson 1000cc Ironhead. It was in a Sportster, shut down due to the hole. There was a hole in the crankcase. Bike had probably been laid down or something. So I did TIG weld that back together again and resurface the mating surfaces. First thing, I get these cases and get these parts cleaned up. They've been sitting around for quite some time. Bearings are kind of gritty and grindy, obviously, so full of dirt and dust. And this one's obviously full of machine, aluminum dust from the machine work and the grinding and welding. Start putting it together. Okay, let's find some bolts and tighten this thing back together again. Okay, well, that's enough of it together. I've got this little spacer that goes between the inner bearing and the outer bearing, like so, but it's obviously not happy. So I got another one on the way. We'll pick up once that shows up. Should be a few days. We'll throw the rest of this together and figure out the transmission next, I guess. Where's those parts at? There's gears there. Looks like there's things missing here. Should have taken pictures 7-8 years ago when I took it apart, but it is what it is. Let's get it back together again. All right, after spending a significant amount of time on the internet trying to figure out how this thing went back together again, I think I got it right. Gear mesh isn't great, alignment of the gears isn't great, but with that being said, it's gonna suffice for what we're gonna use the motor for. I would not put this motor back on the road in an actual motorcycle, but it'll work just fine for what we want to do with it. Now let's drop this whole gear case assembly inside the actual motor, and then move on from there. Okay, together, that's the first gear. That's neutral. Second. Third, fourth. Okay, fourth, let's shift. First again. No, wait. First. There's neutral again. So call that a win. Let's move on and figure out how to bolt those together or that together and continue assembling this thing. All right, clutch assemblies in, chains in, tensioners resting in there. I didn't tape installing the release disc because it was not a pretty sight. Two jaw, wobbly, spring compress, but I got it on there and it's bolted down. So at this point we're just going to put a little bit of gasket sealant around here and get the side cover installed on it, and then we'll call this side of the engine complete. So we got the side cover back on the motor. For you Harley mechanics, you may have noticed I put the clutch release disc on backwards, only to find that out when I tried to put the cover on. Just corrected that, got the cover on, sealed up. So now we're going to move on to pistons and cylinders, get those on there so this thing will actually start looking like an actual motor. Okay, let's put the cylinders on. I got one of them already on here. I'd show a little process of what I do. Simple hose clamp. Most of my time is spent with metric motors, metric engines, metric bikes, and the cylinders are always tapered at the bottom, so this isn't required. You can literally just squeeze the ring, slide the cylinder on. So with this little hose clamp, tighten it around the rings, set the cylinder over the piston, grab it down, loosen it just a little bit. Watch the cylinder slide down. Boom, it's on. Release the hose clamp. Oh, cylinder's installed. Now move on to getting the head gaskets on it and get the heads bolted down. Okay, cylinders are on, heads are on, torque down. Next we'll work on the cam stuff. I think the oil pump is down here. I'm assuming there's some sort of an alternator up here, I'm assuming. Generator, alternator. So we'll put that stuff on next. Okay, our camshafts are all in, timing marks are all lined up, oil pumps in. Next we'll just get the lifters in place and push rod tubes and cam covers, or rocker arm covers, or rocker arms. All right, rocker covers on, push rod covers and push rods in, cam covers on, starters on. So I think this is enough of the engine assembly piece of the puzzle. The last couple pieces left on the motor are basically the carburetor and ignition system here, but we'll put that stuff on once we get the motor inside the chassis. So this will close out this segment of the trike build. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.